Toji versus Garou in a bodybuilding battle? Who wins? Let's find out. Both of these characters are known for having great physiques that people would love to train like. Trust me, I know I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys on these videos on which one you would want to look like and how we can look like them and our training plans and all that sort of stuff, and I thank you so much for that. But I thought in this video I'd take a different approach and actually see who has the better physique of the two from a bodybuilding perspective. Obviously, all physiques are subjective and they're all beautiful in their own way, but from a bodybuilding sport perspective, who has the better physique out of these two? So obviously, they both have really good physiques. Let's kind of break them down one by one, and then we'll kind of look at them together as if they were on stage. So unfortunately, we don't have all like the poses together. That would be awesome. But if any of you are an artist and want to do that, that would be cool. I would definitely take that. So let's look at Toji first. So we don't really have any stats about his height and weight. If you guys know of any, please let me know. But I'm just gonna, like, for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna assume they're both the same height. And I think Garou is 5'9"-ish, right? Yep. Garou is 5'9" 3/4, so we'll say that Toji is the same, because I want to judge them based on their muscularity and just assume that they're the same height, because height does play a difference. Like, you can, like, you may look thicker if you're like 5'5" as compared to like 6'5", right? Toji just comes in and has a really good aesthetic physique, and that's why I wanted to look at both these guys, because they both not only have muscles, but they both have kind of an aesthetic physique that 99% of guys would probably like to have something very similar to this. So when we actually look at his physique, we can see the things that are best, the qualities that are best are his muscles in his arms, right? His shoulders. He has really good genetics in terms of the width of his physique, and that comes into play a lot in bodybuilding. So a lot of people think it's just like hard work and stuff, and yes, all bodybuilders work extremely hard, but most of it, or a lot of it at least, is genetic based as well. And Toji has really good genetics, if you will, in terms of having a really wide clavicles, really wide shoulders. And what that means is, like, he's not narrow. I don't know if you've seen like other people who are just like kind of narrow in their shoulders and stuff, but his are just extremely wide. Now, why is that important? That's because we have something called a V taper. It's got that V kind of shape to their look. It makes his waist look even smaller. Now, say if his shoulders just came to like right here and he just looked like a rectangle, he wouldn't have that aesthetic Greek god-like physique style. That's one thing that makes his physique already look really admirable, right? So on top of that, he has big arms. He has big shoulders. Now, that's a trick that you can do if you want to have more of a V-taper like physique, but you don't quite have that kind of God-gifted genetic, then you can just work on your delts, your shoulders, make them really big, and that'll kind of give you more of the illusion that you do have that, as well as just honestly getting a smaller waist in general. So he has those. His arms are really good. He's got really thick muscular arms. So this is a really nice characteristic for bodybuilders and just for anyone in general. Like, if you want to think about your top aesthetic looking muscles, shoulders probably number 1, arms probably number 2, chest probably number 3, and then probably abs maybe. And then, you know, back too, you know, but just like most people don't think about like, well, look at his back, you know, like they don't think about that. But Toji kind of has it all going on, right? So if we were looking and trying to be nitpicky, well, you know what, before I get into that, let's take a look at Garou's physique, and then we'll be nitpicky with them both together. So Garou, like I said, is 5'9" 3/4. We're assuming Toji is too, even though I know he's probably a lot taller than that because he's a monster. But Garou is basically a monster in himself, right? He's the human monster. So Garou comes in and is just absolutely ripped, and we actually have more physique shots of him. He likes to show off more. Maybe it's just because he's in One Punch Man, but whatever. He's got a really aesthetic physique. I mean, he's also got abs for days. He's got those wide shoulders as well. I would actually say that, you know, he's got probably one of the most admirable aesthetic physiques in all of anime. And so to me, his shoulders really pop, and not only do his shoulders really pop, but he's got a really, really small waist. Some of these shots like this one, it looks like he probably weighs like 140 or something like that. Like, he looks pretty small from a muscular perspective, and then you get to like other shots and you're like, whoa, this guy is absolutely massive right here. So I'm just kind of taking more of the bigger looks, so I don't know exactly what he weighs. I don't think it's listed anywhere, but if he's 5'9"-ish, I would say, and he looks like this, I would say he's probably somewhere around 180 to 200-ish. Because his physique kind of reminds me of Frank Zane's, and I believe he came in around 180, 190, and he was 5'8", but he's known as kind of like the god of aesthetics in terms of like bodybuilding. He was Mr. Olympia back in the day. in the, when was he Mr. Olympia? I think it was like 70, like late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, so he was Mr. Olympia from 1977 to 1979. So yeah, he's absolutely like just the GOAT when it comes to aesthetics in terms of bodybuilding. That's kind of who I think Garou has a very similar physique to. So he's got those aesthetics, both of these guys do. But when we're actually comparing them together, let's actually kind of be a little bit more nitpicky and see what we can find, because they both have like 10 out of 10 physiques. If you just see them on the street or see them on the beach or whatever, you'd be like, yeah, I want to be like that guy. But in terms of bodybuilding, who has the better physique? Now, to me, Toji actually looks a bit bigger in terms of like filling out his frame and in terms of muscle mass. But Garou looks a little bit more lean and a little bit more ripped. But which is more important? Well, they both kind of go hand in hand. In bodybuilding, we look at muscularity, symmetry, proportions, and conditioning. So muscularity, I gotta give it to Toji, obviously. In terms of conditioning, I give it to Garou. But if we're looking at symmetry, in proportions, I actually think Garou probably has slightly better proportions. Like, I think Toji's are just kind of like, you know, his arms look a little bit weird in terms of like the forearm shape compared to like the bis and tris. Like there's a little bit of weirdness going on. And I know it's probably just the artistry and stuff, but in some of these pictures, it's just like his proportions look just a little bit weird. And when I look at Garou in almost all of these shots, no matter like what he looks like, his proportions always look pretty phenomenal, right? So he's got a pretty phenomenal physique in terms of proportions. So therefore, I give the slight edge and the victory to the one and only Garou. Now, like I said, that is not to take away anything from Toji. I think they both have 10 out of 10 normal physiques, but from a bodybuilding perspective, I give the slight edge to Garou. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you disagree with me? Also let me know that in the comments down below. And who would you like to see in a bodybuilding battle up next? All right, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video.